Right, it's live, so we're just going to wait till someone comes on. Always takes its time.
Facebook let any?
Yeah, they will. It just always takes its time. I don't know why.
Who's that?
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us again. We're still at Brunel University, where they're counting the votes. Now, what's interesting, we've seen a lot of stuff go on since doing this campaign, where they've hid me from hustings, as you know, and we found out today that people who were turning up to vote were being told that they'd already voted. Now, what happens if you go to a polling station and they say that your name's been crossed off and that you've already voted? What they do is do not let you vote again. They tell you you have to fill in a form which goes off to the electoral place where you can complain, and they won't let you vote again. Now, what we're seeing here tonight is some really shoddy business. We're seeing lots of unusual handshakes, I'll call them. Many, isn't
Yes,
it? Many,
yes.
Louise. Many, Alan.
We've been watching for it.
Yes.
Right, we've been watching for it. We've been looking at the tables. Now, what is strange is in Harefield, it's a very small place and it's a community area, and it's where I live. And I know so many people there. Now, roughly, there's probably 5,000 to 6,000 people there, something like that. I could be, wrong on the figure. But looking at last year, the amount of people who voted in Harefield, 5,000 to 6,000. Now, I would be expecting probably at least 300 votes, yeah? 300 votes at least, which would have been fantastic, because that's 300 votes for the people, not for me. But it's looking like less than 100, would you say?
Yeah.
It's looking
From
like
Harefield, yeah.
less. I think less than 100 altogether.
Yeah.
And it makes sense. It makes sense because they wouldn't want to give me a higher margin than that. They wouldn't want to do that purely based on the fact that if I had even just a couple of thousand votes who didn't receive their postal vote, none of them. There you go. Sarah Jackson said, I know 6 people who are currently living abroad who didn't receive their postal vote, none of them. So it's looking like that I've got under 100 votes, I would roughly say, something like that, which I know from Harefield alone would at least be roughly around the 300 mark. So something is not adding up, but it makes sense, because if I got quite a few votes, then that puts me more in the spotlight and more people will want to know who I am. And they don't want people to know who I am because they don't want people to know about Josh, Harry and George and everything I say and things like that. So it's all making sense. So there's a lot of skulduggery going on tonight and a lot of secret handshakes we've seen here. So
Shame we can't film inside.
absolutely, Angie, they are fiddled. Like I said, we've had a lot. I've been kept from the hustings. There was 4 hustings that we found. I only managed to get to 1, and that's because I found out the day before. So corrupt, yeah, it is. And seeing what I've seen in there tonight, yeah, it is. And it's very easy to go into a polling station and just to say you're so-and-so, and then they give you the form for you to vote. So in our area, and I know because I've stood next to the candidates in this area, and both Labour and Conservative and the Lib Dems, they lied. They lied to the people. There is no one in there that spoke about the people, that spoke about the disabled, that spoke about universal credit, that spoke about low wages, that spoke about all the injustices. No one. None of them are speaking about what's happening to the people. And that should be a concern for everyone. Should be a concern. So, good luck to us all in the next 5 years, and
We're going to need it.
we'll be out again in 5 years' time, because they can continue to hide me as much as they want. When we walked through tonight, the security team that was in there, and there's police here as well, stated, yeah, that's the justice for the boys lot. You know, they should hang their heads in shame that I'm having to do this, because we should have a government that put the people and nation first and not personal greed.
Sorry?
You know, and that's not what's happening here.
Okay.
So it's not a surprise, to be honest. I can imagine when I go up and stand, the votes haven't been said yet, so I've still got to go and stand on the stage. So I can imagine what's going to happen then. And, you know, the Conservative person who has no personality and is not for the people, I'm not going to say on here what he said at Hustings. I'm not going to say it, but we do have it recorded, so maybe one day I'll put it out, and it's a shocker. It's a shocker. And yet he is definitely the one who's won the seat for Ruislip, yeah? Would you say that?
Yeah.
For Ruislip, Pinner and Northwood, it's definitely Conservative. And it's a shame, because I know what that man has said. And it certainly weren't about the people. So everyone, here we are again. Boris isn't here yet. I haven't seen him. He's meant to be here, but he's not here yet. Maybe he thinks he can just turn up at the end and he's not interested in the vote counting. Of course not. On top of that, what was the other thing? Oh yeah, so I wasn't the only independent standing. There was another independent standing, and even though he was a real person, I believe he was a stooge, because there was no leaflet sent out by him. He's not here tonight. You know, I've been here before 10 o'clock tonight. He's not here tonight. And there's only a couple of pictures of him out and about in town, just 2 selfies saying, oh, look, I'm out and about, and telling people what I'm doing. No. Believe he was a stooge to split the votes on the independents. So, everyone, you know, take care. We're still out here fighting. We won't give up for the people. We don't ever surrender, so it doesn't matter what happens here tonight. We ruffled a few feathers, and we showed that there are people here that do care about the forgotten people, that do care about the ordinary people, and do care about the children, because you have to care about the children whether they're your children or not. You have to care about the elderly, you have to care about the veterans, you have to care about the disabled, and you have to care that there is family in poverty right now, that they are starving. Louise, do you want to say bye?
Bye.
She's been a counter tonight, although they told me that I could have 6 counters and 8 observers, but the 6 counters didn't actually count. Very bizarre what's gone on here tonight. So, Alan?
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Oh, Sarah.
Take care.
Take
Oh, look,
care.
here's... Hang on. No, is that... Who is that? Is that John McDonnell?
That's the Labour.
Is it? Hang on. McDonald's. Oh, he's just... John McDonnell's just arrived, so let's go in here. You know, they come this time of night just to hear the vote, where we've been here all the time. There has been some interesting pictures written on some of the ballot forms where people haven't voted for anyone. So there's been some interesting pictures what have been quite funny. So well done to you lot that did that.
Yeah.
So take care. See you all soon, and never surrender ever, because we won't, no matter what they do.